Hello everyone, it's Oliver Harper here and I'm back with a new LaserDisc update video. I've not produced one for a number of months, maybe about 6 months, and in that time I picked up a few titles, 9 in total, and some are Japanese, some are kind of Criterion, I think one's Criterion, and a couple of common titles which I got on the cheap. I don't tend to spend too much on LaserDiscs. I'm not some maniac who's going to spend £200 on, say, X-Men or The World Is Not Enough. I can't justify that. Some people can, but I would never get into those kind of Muse high definition LaserDiscs. I think that's a kind of a waste of money. The players are very nice though, but yeah, it'd be difficult to track down a Muse LaserDisc player, get it for a reasonable price, but also you end up getting ripped off with the shipping, so it's probably not worth it. But anyway, enough of my rambling. Let's show you the first title, and the first title is Supergirl. Now this is the Japanese release. It's the international cut, not the theatrical one. So this is the longer version most people are familiar with now. Also it's pan and scan, and the picture transfer isn't great. I'll show you some samples of these LaserDiscs throughout the video. It's a great gatefold cover, which is very nice. Black and white. Try and avoid the light bouncing off that then. But yeah, great gatefold sleeve. And doesn't come with a trailer or anything like that, it's just a movie. The beauty of having this is that because the Blu-ray and the previous DVD, the one that came out by Anchor Bay, they did a 5.1 surround soundtrack, but they messed up some of the audio. In particular, when Supergirl returns from the Phantom Zone and smashes through the mirror and sort of faces up against Faye Dunaway, you know. The music just kind of stops, it's kind of out of sync. So what I'm going to do is kind of rip the audio from this and sync it up properly with the Blu-ray, so I've got a decent Dolby stereo track, because the other version, which has the audio intact, is the director's cut, which is in mono. So having this audio mixed with the Blu-ray is going to be the perfect cut for me, so it's got the audio in sync properly. So yeah, I'm kind of happy to have that. Thankfully there's no laser rot on this, but yeah, it's nice to have this, and I got it for peanuts because either because no one kind of is interested in Supergirl, but you see some of these on eBay and they go for quite a lot from kind of international sellers, but from Japan it's worth nothing. Next up we have The Predator on LaserDisc. This is the last release of the film in Japan. The US version in widescreen came out the year before. This came out a year afterwards. So basically, to distinguish this from the previous Japanese releases, it's kind of like the logo itself. The American one has kind of Arnold filling up the whole screen. It's kind of like somewhat pixelated. Not a great cover. I think this one's better. This is kind of the one they used for the theatrical posters. And on the back, we just got some kind of familiar images from the film. I don't think it includes a trailer. It's just basically the US cut, well, the US transfer, sorry, put out in Japan a year later. So you could argue the pressing may be slightly better, but I don't think so. I compared the two, the US and the Japanese LaserDisc, and look pretty much identical. I don't think it comes with any production notes either. So yeah, just kind of a standard release from Fox. Got it for peanuts as well. So yeah, it's nice to have that. Nice sleeve. I'll probably give away my American one to a friend of mine, but yeah, it's nice to have this. Actually, this might be perfect to frame actually. I may frame this. Nice thing to have displayed on your wall. Next up, we have The Hunt for Red October, which is the Dolby Digital version. The one I showed in a previous video was the first release they put out, what Paramount had put out in like 91, maybe 1990. So this is the remastered version with Dolby Digital sound. Picture transfer is a little bit better, and you get the 70mm, I presume, 6-track audio, kind of used as a Dolby Digital track. The gatefold sleeve is identical to the previous one, I believe. They look very similar, and just basically has Dolby Digital kind of squeezed into the corner there. So some people refer to these as kind of stealth Dolby Digital releases, where it's not really advertised particularly well that it has a Dolby Digital track. So some of these go for a lot more in value, like Rocky 2 and The Lost Boys. But a lot of these, you know, ones I just mentioned, I've seen go for you know, a small amount of money years ago. But now, because they're kind of somewhat rare, they go for a lot more. I believe this was sold in the UK because it's got a PG sticker slapped on it and on the back as well. So also just kind of pre-sold here with those stickers on. I don't think the film was a PG, I think it was a 15, right? Yeah, it's nice to have a Dolby Digital version of this. Got it for like, I think it was like £3. Next up, we have the Japanese release of Lockup, the Stallone movie from 1989, I believe, maybe 1990. This is Stallone's prison movie. He did do other ones like No Escape with Arnie years later. There's a pan and scan one. You know, despite it kind of looks more like a later release, it's from '96, so it wasn't even put out in widescreen. Picture transfer is kind of okay, it's nice and sharp and detailed, but it looks a bit kind of tired and washed out in places. I don't think it comes with any information on the film. What is this? Oh, how to look after your laserdiscs in Japanese. Weird bit of paper there. Yeah, I've not actually properly sat through this film. Like some of my friends have said it's kind of okay, it's kind of enjoyable Stallone movie, but is it as enjoyable as Death Warrant? I don't know, we'll have to find out someday. But yeah, this was basically given to me for free by a friend. So he picked up loads of laserdiscs up north and just said, which one do you want? I was like, oh, I've got this, got this, got this. Oh, I'll have that. It's Stallone. You can't turn down some Stallone. Next up, we have the Criterion collection of The Princess Bride. This one is the one that has the special features. This has been out on the format a couple of times. Criterion had put one out very early on after the film had come out. It's kind of like a weird blue design with just a picture from the film. Those early Criterion releases where they just kind of look a bit, I don't know, they had a very unique style at the time, which I didn't particularly love, just having a picture from the movie on the front cover. I think it didn't really take advantage of the movie's theatrical poster. So yeah, a lot of the extras on this were ported over to like the DVD and Blu-ray and so forth, but most of them, this is where it came from. And nice gatefold cover with audio commentaries and yeah, making of on the film and production notes, sketches, you know, quite a few interesting stuff on this. This used to go for quite a bit of money when I started collecting the laserdisc format in late 90s, early 2000s. This one would always be a little bit more pricey and it always sort of maintained its price. And a seller was selling it fairly recently for a reasonable price and I thought, yeah, I'll take that. It's nice to have this one in my collection now and it's no laser rot, very good condition. Yeah, and it's a great movie as well. A film I've not reviewed yet, which is bizarre. I've had a lot of people ask me to cover this over the years and it's something I just haven't got round to, but maybe I will next year. Next up, we have Flash Gordon, but in widescreen, which isn't particularly common. Often you see the pan and scan version by Universal floating around on eBay. This one, I was told, had a fantastic picture transfer, and yeah, they were pretty much right. I was really impressed with this release. Considering it came from like, what, early 90s, you know, it looked really nice. The colours pop, it's like the sound is great, Dolby Stereo PCM track is very nice and punchy. It did have a bit of crosstalk near the end of the laserdisc. I was like, oh no, it's a bit like not entirely perfect near the end. Maybe something to do with my player, I don't think so, but I had it fixed recently. I originally got this for free at the 80s video shop in Alfreton. This guy came into the shop where me and Rob Hill were going to be doing this video. This guy came in, he was taller than Rob, because Rob's frightfully tall. And this other guy came in, I was like, fucking hell. But he'd done extra work on like Prometheus as one of the engineers in the background and like Northman. I do apologise, sir, I can't remember your name, but we did have a chat on Instagram. And he came in with some laserdisc and just sort of give it to the shop, and I was like, can I have that? You know, and the guy at the shop goes, yeah, of course you can, Ollie. Because I kind of knew it was quite tough to find. And I've always been looking for it. You know, I didn't want to pay, you know, high prices on eBay. Some of my friends who collect laserdiscs find this stuff for peanuts in America. I'm like, oh, you bastard. Luckily I got this for free, so I was very happy. So I was very happy he came into the shop and handed it in. So I can add it to my collection. But yeah, great laserdisc if you can find it for a reasonable price. Next up, we have a fantastic movie from the late 90s, and it's Dark City. This is one of my favourite movies from that period. I love the director's cut. It's a movie that needs to be remastered in 4K because the Blu-ray out there is not great. This is the theatrical cut, which has basically an opening text with dialogue and well, voiceover, sorry, to cut through some of the story. Comes with a commentary by the writer and director and production designer and screenwriter as Dolby Digital Audio. Comes with a theatrical trailer. Roger Ebert would provide a commentary to this movie when it came out on DVD or the director's cut, he would provide it too. Yeah, I love this film. I love the look of it. Love the music by Trevor Jones, a composer who doesn't get used that much anymore, which is a massive shame because his scores to like Cliffhanger, Last of the Mohicans, Dark Crystal, incredible. And the score to this, oh my God, it's good. Would you say it's an underrated movie? Would people say that? I mean, I think it gets a lot of respect. maybe I think more people need to see it. And I think down to the fact that hasn't been put out recently. Like this is perfect for like Arrow Video, right, to put out, and maybe they are thinking about doing it. But yeah, it's a movie that needs to be in 4K because it's a stunning film with a brilliant story, wonderful performances, and yeah, just can't say anything more about it. You know, it's just a masterpiece. And the picture is very good on it as well. It's a very good transfer on that LaserDisc. Next up we have Eraser, the 1996 action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is a Japanese release. The American release is a known rotter, which had as Arnold on the front cover with the co-star behind him. It's like a black and white image. I used to have the US release and it had no laser rot, and I sold it because it had no rot and someone was wanting a lot of money for it. I was like, okay. So I got this for next to nothing recently, and obviously this one has no rot issues, and it includes a Dolby Digital audio track, where the US one doesn't. I think by that point they were just like, meh, being lazy, didn't want to pay for the license fee. So it just comes with a PCM mix, which was kind of fine, like Dolby stereo track, but this comes with the Dolby Digital. I think it might include a trailer as well. I'm not entirely sure on that. It just has a little note in there about how Dolby Digital works. But yeah, it's an okay film. You know, directed by Chuck Russell, who did The Mask and Nightmare on Elm Street 3? Yeah, Dream Warriors. It's kind of like maybe the last decent Arnold film, or maybe you could say True Lies was. That's sort of during his like height of his success. This one, it's got some good stuff in it, but all you're really waiting for is at the end when he gets the two rail guns and just takes everyone out. It's really cool. There's some ropey CGI in there with the crocodiles or alligators who try to attack the guy in the zoo. And actually, I remember the bit where he falls out the plane. I remember that being quite good at the time, but I'm not sure if it looks good on standard LaserDisc. But yeah, it's a nice title, nice cover as well, and it's very easy to get hold of. And finally, we have a very late release from Warner Brothers, and it's Soldier, the Kurt Russell movie, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. This was Paul's third movie after he did Mortal Kombat, then Event Horizon, and then Soldier. This went straight to video outside the USA, I believe. I know in the UK it did, because it performed really badly domestically. As it was written by David Peoples, there will be slight references to Blade Runner. So you've got little kind of visual notes or visual kind of references to replicants, and you see the Blade Runner kind of police car spinner in the junkyard when he kind of lands, I think, on this planet, right? It's not a great movie. I mean, I reviewed this very early on in my YouTube career. I didn't particularly love it. There's some interesting stuff in there. I think it's a movie that I like to go back to now and again to sort of kind of readdress it, you know what I mean? Think, oh, maybe I was a bit harsh on it at the time. There's some interesting stuff in there for sure, but it's like, I don't know, Kurt Russell is the king of charisma, and you put him in a role where he barely speaks, you're like, oh, he's kind of wasted. You need Kurt to talk. You know, in like Snake Plissken, he doesn't talk that much, but he has the attitude there, and this doesn't. He's kind of just this kind of emotionless dude who's like really buff, and he's basically his mind's warped by this kind of military kind of regime, and he's like a clone or something, you know. And I don't know. It just feels like maybe kind of the wrong casting at the time. I think maybe someone else could have filled that role, and Kurt just feels wasted. But you know, you've got Jason Scott Lee in it. You know, great martial artist, fantastic in Dragon, a Bruce Lee story. Again, he's a guy with great charisma. You don't really get them to speak that much. It's kind of like bit of a wasted opportunity in some regard. This is a widescreen release with an audio commentary by Paul Anderson, with producer Jeremy Bolt and co-star Jason Isaacs. You know, Jason Isaacs is always great in everything. This stuff was all ported over to the DVD. I mean, when this came out on LaserDisc, the DVD came out as well, so it had the same extras. This one actually retained value, where the DVD didn't, so because they made less of these. So yeah, the picture on this was very nice actually. It wasn't, because Soldier deals with a lot of kind of oranges and reds, thus it gets a bit noisy in the picture. So if your player doesn't have much of a decent noise reduction, or your TV or scaler's not doing a good job of it, it could look just a bit noisy overall.
No, it's the chroma. Flesh tones, way off, way off.
Hopefully what I've captured kind of looks all right, but I think it's down to the inherent style of the movie. There's a sort of the noise from the sort of composite image can be a little bit too much perhaps. But for the time though, all the late transfers for LaserDisc always look pretty good. They always look pretty close to what DVD was doing. But yeah, it's nice to have this because I just love the cover. And I mean, that's such a good cover. It'd be good to actually find a theatrical poster for this, or like maybe the UK quad poster. Let's make use of more of it. But yeah, I like that design. Very cool. Well everyone, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the LaserDisc or any of the discs I showed, please leave a comment and I'll try and respond as soon as I can. Okay everyone, take care of yourselves and goodbye for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the like button and hit the bell to be notified of my latest reviews. Big thanks to my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel. If you want to get involved and gain access to exclusive videos and take part in Q&As, follow the link below.